Hi, very glad to be here. I'm Catherine McLean. I've been a state assemblywoman for 12 years in District 15, and I'm running for State Senate 7, which is an open seat that was vacated by Senator Terry Kerr. Closer? Okay. I've been probably the leading advocate in the legislature over those 12 years for senior citizens, veterans, and our women and our children, our working families. I'm chairman of the Veterans Commission, and I've been on the Commission on Aging. I chair the Committee on Senior Citizens, Veterans, and Adults with Special Needs. I've been pretty successful in passing meaningful legislation over the years. I've been in leadership, I've chaired committees, and directed interim studies, and I think I'm the best candidate for the district. Thank you.
My name is Tony Wright. I've been in Las Vegas for about 10 years. I'm a registered nurse doing home health in the county and the city. Been watching politics in this state for the last 10 years, looking at Clark County schools, watching things go crazy. $2 billion tax increases, both of which probably weren't necessary. I was very much against that. Fred making my voice known, and some people heard, some people didn't. The election with Obama kind of set things off, and it's like, it's time to get back to where we started. We started with a new country right out of the box, new ideas, new principles, and they worked. What we're doing now is not working.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Trish Marsh, and I am a local Nevadan here. I've been in Las Vegas for 47 years. Lived in my district, District 7, for 25. I have been doing so many things in my lifetime. I have run candidates into the Nevada Supreme Court, the district courts, many years ago. I was a forerunner and a fundraiser for the candidates in the judicial system. So I'm very familiar with the laws and the canons that are involved. I also have been a fundraiser and a director for the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, the Nevada Easter Seal Society. So I also created programs that would benefit disabled individuals as well as our disabled children, as well as, wow, you name it, anybody who had a speech impediment, adults, my goodness, as well as raising money for all of the programs that we would design, or I would help to design, actually. Then I went into the private sector, and I started running money via armored car to the Federal Reserve banks, and of course, picking up money from the hotel casinos and throughout the nation. So it was quite exciting, and just like so many out there right now, they've lost their jobs. Back a couple of years ago, I was just like them. And I started looking for work again, and knowing my background, and I had a fabulous background just like so many out there today. They all have great backgrounds, and there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people lined up for that same position. I said it was time to finally come back out, because I knew in my 20s eventually I would run for an office, but at the time it just wasn't time. Now with this economy, I need to get up there and do some common sense legislative activity, some that's going to correct some of the issues that we have today, some of the wasteful spending that we have going on throughout our nation, let alone our community. But let's just start right here in District 7, because that's where I'm concerned with, and I'm concerned with all of our residents that are right here in Las Vegas. So I am Trish Marsh.
Thank you. And I appreciate you hosting this forum. Mark Menendo. I'm a state assemblyman from District 18, and I'm running for the open State Senate District 7 seat that Terry Kerr has term limited out. I grew up in Las Vegas. I've been here for 28 years. I've lived all of those years in Senate District 7. It's personal to me. My entire family lives in Senate District 7. A couple of the candidates are here on this forum today. We were at a forum last night in actually Senate District 7, so it's nice to see them again. During my tenure in the legislature, when I first came in, I was very young, still young, but I was very young then. I put in a bill to establish the first actually Nevada's first veterans home. We were one of 4 states that didn't have a veterans home. I couldn't understand that. That just didn't make sense to me. But you're kind of ostracized as a young person coming in the legislative process, and it's almost like, how dare you take on such a big challenge? Why would you do that? Well, I did that because I didn't feel that, we didn't have one. Why is Nevada different than any other state? What's wrong with our leadership in the state when Nevada didn't even have a veterans home? And we ended up getting one a couple sessions later. A lot of fighting, and thanks to Veterans in Politics, when I joined back in 1990 and Castle Anderson was involved, that was before I even ran for office. We were kind of setting the groundwork for some of our agendas. So a lot of the veterans in Nevada didn't really have a political voice until Veterans in Politics really came around. So I commend everybody who volunteers their time to take on such tasks, because it's really needed. So that was one of the things. I also served Mr. Sanson on the Southern Nevada Veterans Cemetery Commission, and we've did a lot of good work out there. We have a beautiful cemetery, and for everybody who goes out and visits, I'm sure you're pleased. So I'm looking forward to your questions, and thank you for hosting us. Mark Menendo again, Senate District 7.
Are we asking the same question to the panel, or are we asking
anything? It goes, you ask one question and they all answer.
Okay, that.
Richard Hawkins, economics professor and attorney. What is the single most important thing for the Nevada legislature to either do, not do, or stop doing for the Nevada economy? Let's start at that. Oh, you've got the microphone. Why don't you start again?
Thank you. Kathy McLean. I don't know as if there's any single item that we need to do, not do, or stop doing. There's a multitude of problems in this state. The top 5 are jobs, 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 and jobs. If people were working and our economy base was strong, we would be in the serious problem we're in right now. So having said that, economic diversification is very important. We kind of skirt around the edges often on that issue. There's a lot of ideas out there that start to get implemented. Sometimes they don't work real well, but that's no reason to give up on economic development. As far as our revenues in this state, we are too dependent on industry-specific taxes. The entire structure needs to be revised, and there are many, many ways of doing that without affecting any one industry, any individual, or any class of citizen. I look forward to working really hard on that issue, on our revenue structure, because I think it really needs to be revised. It hasn't been revised in 20 to 30 years. Over the years, you've seen what's happened when you have the different split between local governments and state government, how when you have the big booming growth, local governments obviously had a better advantage at revenue. So the state has gotten to the point where we are bare bones. I truly believe that. We've been in session after session, special session after special session, and we have cut as far as we can cut without actually cutting out programs. Now, Nevada needs to decide, do we want to educate our children? Do we want to have a good workforce? Do we want to help our mentally ill, help our senior citizens, and help our veterans? And if so, then we need to do something about this revenue structure and make it work for everyone. Thank you. It's Kathy McLean.